to preface this by telling you I mixed the Don Cartagena album for Fat Joe. I did songs on it, but I actually mixed the whole album. Now, Steve Lobel set that up for me, right? We were in L.A., I don't know, and he said, hey, Fat Joe's got a record. I was like, and? He said, he wants you to mix it. I was like, all right. So I flew, and it was his studio in Staten Island. So me and Fat Joe had a really great relationship because I mixed that record for him. And let me tell you something. Fat Joe took care of me. When I say took care of me, you know, either you like drugs or alcohol or women, right? Well, I like women. So, and don't let me forget about talking about Tony Draper in the Suavehouse in Texas, because Fat Joe set the precedent, though. So we were at Fat Joe's studio in New York, and everybody knows, you know, Mom, oh, he likes girls, because I wasn't fucking with drugs. I didn't drink, actually. I don't drink to this day. So I drank maybe a beer or something, but I really like girls a lot. So I remember Steve set it up, and Steve probably told him. Fat Joe was like, what's he into? Because I could get him. Because Fat Joe's like the mayor of New York, right? And he's like, oh, that nigga just chased women. I was like, all right. So you know what Fat Joe did? So I'm mixing a song. I turned around. I'm at the mixing board. I mean, a big SSL mixing board, right? I mean, big one. Flying faders, everything going. Song happening. It was all cracking. I can't remember what song it was. Who cares? I turned around and looked, and there was about 15 or 20 naked girls in that room right behind me, and Fat Joe and a few of his Terror Squad dudes was in there, and like there was a pool table, and they was shooting pool and naked chicks, and I was like, this is the type of gig I need to be on. I mean, I'm not saying that Bone, you know, listen, Bone Thugs, they're very suave dudes, so girls love them, so it was always women in the Bone Thug session. But I actually flew to New York to work for Fat Joe. For one, I'm from New York, and I just wanted to go home. For two, I really love Fat Joe. So I was being professional. I wasn't trying to, you know, everybody smoking weed. I was like, nah, I'm cool. They, you know, take two hits and pass it. They pass it towards me. I'm like, no, I'm good. Because I was mixing a song. I mean, I was like really getting in the zone. A few hours passed by, and it's a lot of stuff going on behind me, but I'm not, you know, when I'm in a zone, I'm in a zone. And a few hours went by, and I just happened to turn around, and it's a gang of girls with G-strings on. I'm like, what the hell? And so one of Fat Joe's dudes from the Terror Squad, I forget which one it was, but I mean, I was friends with a lot of them. He turned around and said, yeah, these just came in from Philly. I was like, what do you mean came in from Philly? You know, like, just like, it's almost like you can see a busload of chicks coming in from Philly, getting off the bus right in front of, like, Fat Joe's studio. And that's kind of what, I was like, what you mean? He said, yeah, Fat Joe got them everywhere. And this bunch here, they just came in from Philly. And I was like, what the fuck is this? It was great because they were all some hot, you know, Spanish, Puerto Ricans, and, you know, all of it was going on. That's one. That's the first thing with Fat Joe. Second thing is, when I went to my hotel room, what was waiting for me? You think about it. A room full. That's the first time that happened to me. Second time it happened to me, that's Fat Joe. Second time it happened to me, I was in the Suavehouse with Tony Draper, and I went down. Crazy Bone, I don't know, he was doing a song with MJG and 8 Ball. Do a pip, dig a pip, them hoes. Well, I produced that song. A lot of people don't know it, but yeah. So I was in the Suavehouse with Tony Draper, and Steve wasn't with me in New York either with Fat Joe. I just remember Tony Draper talking to Lobel on the phone, and they were talking about, well, you know, whatever. Steve at the time was sort of, kind of managing me because he was kind of pimping me out as a producer, as a guitar player, as a, you know, whatever. And then the Tony Drapers of the world, they would pay and that sort of thing. Steve and I made a lot of money like that, right? And so they were talking about whatever they were talking about. Who knows? I don't care. I was listening, you know, I was getting into this vibe of that song. And MJG and 8 Ball was there. We was doing our thing. And Crazy had already laid his track down, and I came in because Cray wasn't having it unless I mixed it, right? So I went in to mix it and put some guitar, whatever. I ended up doing a bunch of songs at the Suavehouse with Tony Draper. So second time, I go to my hotel room. What was it full of? Man, it was quite a scene. It was like a strip club in Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate.